Now, this is such an important thing for you to understand, and I feel, because if you don't understand how you're getting influenced by different spirits, you're going to so easily hook into how they influence you that you won't even know what's happening. And the way they hook into influencing you is through your unhealed emotions that you have. And a primary way that they hook into you. So, let's have a look at what's going on from a spiritual point of view. From a spiritual point of view, I now, because of my vulnerability, because I have errors in my soul, am not afforded the protection that I could be if I had less errors within my soul. Now, it's not my fault that I have those errors in many cases, because many of the errors created through my parents and my environment and everything growing up. But there are a number of things I can actually do to plug up these holes until my soul is able to provide the barrier. Do you understand? So there's all these holes around me emotionally. So let's draw me a little larger. And this is obviously, we'll change the gender again. Because it's, right? And this is the barrier that would normally be there if I was afforded full protection by my being in a complete state of love and a complete state of truth, totally harmonious with divine truth. Right? That would be the barrier that would be there. I would be perfectly protected from my environment. I could walk through my life without a single fear. And by the way, this is not an intellectual state. I'm saying that you will actually get to a point, once you're at this point, where you will have literally no fear about anything in your life at all. Does that make sense? Dennis, can we have a mic back up? Yeah. Keep your hand up, Dennis.
Hey Jay, is that, are you talking about at-one-ment there, or just being in a complete state of love?
This state occurs when you're in at-one-ment with God. Until you're in at-one-ment with God, you may actually be in a natural love state of completion. It would be very, very hard for any spirit to influence you in that state as well, with the exception of your beliefs about God.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So what I'm talking about is a completed state where nobody can influence you about anything at all, and in that state you would have to be at one with God. Right? Now, the problem is that the majority of us, of course, are not yet there. So what we have to do is just rub that out. The majority of us have all these fissures and cracks where we have energetic disturbances in our spirit body as a result of them, and therefore there's all these places that are holes in our barrier. So there are just holes there where anybody can get in under certain circumstances. Anybody. Someone on earth or in the spirit world can get in and affect me emotionally under certain specific circumstances. All right, so what we want to do is we want to have some way of actually protecting ourselves while we're in the process of development. Does that make sense to you? Because if we can't protect ourselves while we're in the process of development, there's all sorts of things that can happen. For example, as I receive divine love, so in my soul I'm starting to receive divine love, automatically my body becomes brighter. Does that make sense? My spirit form, becomes brighter. Now, if you're a spirit and you're in quite a dark place and you're hovering around the earth, what kind of persons are you going to be attracted to a lot? You go to the brighter ones and say, why is he bright? I'm not bright, he's bright, what's going on? But you won't go, what's going on in most cases if you're in a dark condition. You'll go, I want him to be where I am. I want him to go back to being dark again. Does that make sense? Because I'll have, like as the spirit, I'll have huge amounts of jealousy at someone being brighter, huge amounts of problems with why they're brighter, and then I'll look at them and I think, I can easily affect that. I can easily cause them. Look, I can see there's this little rage there that's about their mother. Well, I can affect that. That's really easy to affect. All I've got to do is plop a few thoughts into their mind, and the person is going to be open to those thoughts, are they not? Because they have a rage towards their mother, which automatically makes them unprotected in this area where they can now have thoughts dropped into their mind to prompt their rage towards their mother. Does that make sense to you? So it's like here, if I've got inside of me a rage towards mum, which obviously covers some fears about my own emotional state, which obviously covers a lot of grief about my relationship, my relationship with her, right? Right? What will happen is that now creates a state where I am now totally open to influence on that subject. And I can be influenced by any person on earth on that subject, and I can be influenced by any spirit. And all the spirit has to do is just get into my mind, and my mind will be unprotected on this subject because of the emotion inside of me that doesn't afford me protection. And so I have a feeling in my heart that I have a justified anger towards my mother. That justified anger and rage towards my mother will automatically make me vulnerable to a spirit who's also angry with their mother or wants to manipulate me and control me in some way in that regard, with regard to my relationship with women. And that spirit will be able to connect through those thoughts quite easily because I'm unprotected in that area. Does everyone get that? All right. So what does he do? He's up here, spirit. He drops into my mind, yeah, all women are bitches. Right? And that triggers this emotion in me of me being angry with my mother. And then I start acting out. And he might drop in mind, yeah, they're all bitches. You know, just use them. You can use them. You know, that's what they're doing to you anyway. Right? So he just starts dropping these thoughts in. And, you know, you might be walking along the street and all of a sudden drawn to look at a woman and the feeling is, oh, I want to have sex with her. And that could be dropped in by that same spirit, exactly the same way through this emotion of anger and feeling certain feelings towards women. Does that make sense? And to be frank with you, all of us are like this melting pond, if you like. We are inside of ourselves, able to have any of these thoughts dropped into us at any point in time, based on what my unhealed emotional condition is at that time. Jen? If we have a mic, if you put your hand up.
Often at times they've talked to me in my own voice.
Yep. What so sounds like?
They mimic a set of events that perhaps resonate with a memory that may or may not be true about my life, and talk to me in my own voice. And so I can't tell the difference at times.
And the truth is, for many of us, is that we think we can't hear spirits, right? The majority of us feel that we can't. The truth is that you're actually hearing spirits half your life, right? You just don't even know yet what thought is your own and what thought's theirs, because their thoughts are so much in harmony with your own. And the reason why is because of the emotional injuries that are there.